Good evening to you all. This is Karzai from Afghanistan, and this is my co-host David Mandela from Uganda. On behalf of Symbiosis International Culture Center and Symbiosis International Issues Council, we take great pleasure in extending a very warm welcome to you all. Today we are honored to have in our midst His Excellency Mr. Hamid Karzai, Honorable President of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. Your Excellency, it's with great honor and humility that we are indeed grateful for the valuable time that you have taken off from your busy schedule for this interaction. And for that effect, we warmly welcome you.
Your Excellency, it may please you to note that from its inception, Symbiosis has catered to the needs of students coming from various corners of the world, creating an auspicious environment for students to attain the highest standard of excellence in the domains of academia and the highest standard of excellence in learning about various traditions and cultures, all at the same time. Today, we take great pride in presenting cultural dances from Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Mauritius, Union of Africa, and lastly, India. We do hope you enjoy the cultural program that the students have put up in honor of your visit. His Excellency, we would like to begin with Afghanistan.
afternoon. I would request the distinguished guests to please come on the stage.
हेलो सर अनिल कहाँ आदिल सर आपने हमने यहाँ खड़ा किया फिर भी हमने देख सकते
If I may dare say so, sir, this hall may be smaller, but the welcome you have received is as loud as the one that you got this morning. Good afternoon. Distinguished guests on the dais, His Excellency Mr. Hamid Karzai, GCMG, Honorable President of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, His Excellency Zarar Ahmad Osmani, Foreign Minister Designate, His Excellency Mr. Leonpo Rinjin Dorje, Foreign Minister of Bhutan, Mr. Pedro Conceição Couto, Vice Minister of Finance, Mozambique, His Excellency Dr. Joseph Butore, Minister of Education and Scientific Research, Burundi, His Excellency Dr. Rangan Dadfar Spanta, National Security Advisor, Afghanistan, Dr. S.P. Muzumdar, Chancellor, Symbiosis International University, His Excellency Shaida Mohammad Abdali, Ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan to India, His Excellency Amar Sinha, Indian Ambassador to Afghanistan, Dr. Vidya Yerodekar, Executive Director, Symbiosis Center for International Education, and Principal Director, Symbiosis. Welcome to this very, very special session. I'm Anita Patankar, Director of the School for Liberal Arts, and I'm extremely happy to be your compere for this afternoon's extremely momentous interaction. Let us begin this afternoon's program with a welcome by our Chancellor, Dr. S.P. Muzumdar.
His Excellency, His Amir Karzai, President of Afghanistan, distinguished dignitaries on the dais, invitees, and my international brothers and sisters. Sir, today and yesterday, we were discussing a serious problem of international relations. Diplomats, scholars, policymakers submitted papers and discussed various issues on international relations. Today's get-together, sir, is a little relief for all of us. It is a lighter relief for students and all of us. My dear friends, very often I ask a question to myself, why foreign students should come to India? Why should they not go to other countries like Pakistan or similar such countries? And having selected India, why should they come to Pune? And to answer all these questions, I have a small poem which I penned soon after the establishment of Symbiosis. Allow me to read this poem, Your Excellency. My dear international brothers and sisters, welcome to India. Welcome to Symbiosis. You are in a country where no one is a foreigner, where all human races for ages are living together. You are in a country where teacher, mother, father are gods. And do you know, where you, the guest too, are regarded as the god. You are in a country where women are worshipped and not only merely loved, where nothing shines like the shyness of a woman. You are in a country where poverty and nobility live together, where poor great are more remembered than kings and monarchs, where sacred stones are costlier and greater than the costliest diamonds. You are in a country where right is might, humility is not weakness, and where the knowledge is power. You are in a country where saints have noble past, but sinners have nobler future. Into this country, my international brothers and sisters, may your stay become happier and your mind nobler and broader. These are the reasons why foreign students should come to study India, and they should come to study in Pune, because Pune, sir, is the home, away from home, for all these foreign sisters and brothers. We are extremely proud of international students studying in Pune. And let me also tell you that Pune is the favored destination of foreign students. Out of 40,000 foreign students studying in India, as many as 18,000 foreign students are studying in Pune. And out of 18,000 students, 3,000 students from 85 countries are studying here. Your Excellency, for Symbiosis, whether foreign students studies in Symbiosis or Ferguson or SP or Wadia or for that matter any other college is immaterial. Because to every foreign student, Symbiosis is his home, away from home. Sir, as a teacher, I realize how difficult it must be for young children studying undergraduate classes to adjust with different climate, different culture, and therefore we thought that Symbiosis should be there to help them. I am proud to say, sir, that Symbiosis is perhaps the only organization in the country which was established only for the welfare of foreign students, to solve their problems, to acquaint them with Indian cultures. And therefore, to all foreign students, Symbiosis is a friend in need. Well, sir, these foreign students have just now shown their cultural programs. International relations can be established through education, through study of science, literature, liberal arts, and so on. But true international relations can also be achieved through cultural programs which were shown by our students. We in Symbiosis believe that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is the true concept. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam translated means world is one family. Oh, and how can the world will be one family? Udara Charitanam to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means, sir, this person with nobler mind, generous character, regards the whole universe as one family. And this is our motto, this is our dream. And I am sure with these young, bubbling minds sitting here, it will not be difficult for us to one day realize that dream. With these few words, I welcome Your Excellency again to Symbiosis and all the dignitaries sitting on the dais. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Since 1971, we have worked hard at making this place a home away from home for our international students. The International Student Council works hand in hand with the Center for International Education towards this end. I now invite Mr. Motasim from Palestine to welcome our guests on behalf of the International Student Council.
Honored and respected dignitaries present here on this auspicious day. His Excellency Mr. Hamid Karzai, the President of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, unmentioned but distinctive personalities witnessing this historical day. I warmly welcome you to the Oxford of the East, the multicultural city of Pune. I welcome you to Symbiosis, the pride of Pune, and where the world is one family with a single father, the founder, a president, and the chancellor. The founder, the president, and the chancellor of Symbiosis International University, Badma Bushan, Dr. S.P. Mujumdar. The podium of this auditorium is where students from different countries revive and exchange their rich traditions and cultures. But on this special event, this stage will be turned into a presidential palace, wherein His Excellency, the President of Afghanistan, will illuminate it with his great personality, a true symbol of power and faith. Many of us present here today are from different countries, are from different regions and corners of the world. But we are bound together with only one thread, with a common goal and a common search. We have crossed seas and oceans, mountains and deserts, to find a place where we can quench our thirst of intellectual curiosity. As nomads journey always have different paths, but leading to one destination of a greener pasture and water. So is our journey of which India has become our home away from home. Over the past 2 days, we have seen what many minds can achieve when they decide to collaborate and synergize their energies for their plural mutual development. Never before have such renowned diplomats, politicians, economists, and businessmen sat together under the same roof to brainstorm on how to move forward together in harmony. It's a clear revelation that the boundaries that keeps humans apart are those that we nurture in our own minds. On behalf of my fellow foreign students, we are blessed and really lucky to belong to a university that brings us to share and interact with our role models and the great people that we look upon for inspiration. People of a great intellect and personality that adds zest to our education and makes it a wonderful, wondrous pursuit. We are indeed grateful. I would like to show gratitude to those that made this day a possibility and to our guest of honor, His Excellency Mr. Hamid Karzai, Honorable President of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, for embracing and influencing our lives on this great day. And to the long list of unmentioned delegates. Long live SYMBIOSIS, long live Dr. S.P. Mujumdar, a real visionary and a true disciple of globalization. I would like to end by paying a tribute to another true Gandhian, a true son of Africa, and a great humanist that the world has ever had. Nelson Mandela, by quoting his best quote, that a combination of a good heart and a good brain is always the best combination. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all.
Thank you, Motafa. As is tradition, we take pleasure in welcoming our distinguished guests and wish that they visit us again. Our Chancellor will now felicitate the distinguished guests on the dais. His Excellency, Mr. Hamid Karzai, Honorable President of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. His Excellency Zarar Ahmed Osmani, Foreign Minister Designate. His Excellency Mr. Leonton Rinjin Doje, Foreign Minister of Bhutan. Vice Minister of Finance, Mozambique. His Excellency Dr. Joseph Butore, Minister of Education and Scientific Research, Burundi. His Excellency Dr. Spanta, National Security Advisor, Afghanistan. His Excellency Shaida Muhammad Abdali, Ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan to India. His Excellency Amar Sinha, Indian Ambassador to Afghanistan. Thank you, sir. And now for that moment that you all have been waiting for. After addressing the Conference on International Relations earlier this afternoon at Lovely, we're extremely happy that His Excellency wished to speak to and interact with the international students studying here at Symbiosis and in Pune. I now present to you with great pleasure His Excellency Mr. Hamid Karzai, GCMG, Honorable President of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Very honored friend of mine already and friend of the young lot of the international community in the University of Symbiosis and Pune, Professor Majumdar, distinguished personalities on the dais, academia, and students. It's a tremendous pleasure, indeed, an honor beyond par to be addressing the youngsters of the international community and in an environment so conducive, so softly and nice as we have today. And to have been presented with cultural programs of various countries. Those of you who have studied the books of old travels, including that of Ibn Battuta, who started from Marrakesh, who came all the way to India and China, you will know that travel in itself is a way of reaching science and knowledge. And indeed, for you all to be here today, to come to India and to study, in addition to you gaining education in science and social sciences, you also learn a plenty by being friends with youth from the rest of the world. And that's indeed a blessing, Professor Majumdar, that you have taken upon yourself to provide. And before I go to speak about my thoughts on interaction with you today, I wonder how many of you students today have studied the circumstances which led the father of this institution in the gathering today as a result as to what led Professor Majumdar to establish the Symbiosis University. It was seeing a young Mauritius student, if I'm right, ill with jaundice, and a fellow Mauritian girl bringing him food every day secretly because girls were not allowed into the boys' hostel. And when Professor Majumdar went to inquire, he found that the boy was ill, and then he thought of creating an institution, a body that will look after the needs of students from abroad studying in India, their food, their health, their cultural environment, and to make them feel not so much away from home so they will not be all the time homesick. I was your age as well, some time back, more than 30 years ago. And I also went to a country called India, and I went to Simla to study. And this begins my speech, my interaction with you today. A student is not a tourist. A student does not travel away from home to seek comfort. A student is a searcher of knowledge, of resource in knowledge, be it in sciences, be it in social sciences or social studies. When I went to Simla, It was a small place with a small university with a few colleges, some very good schools though. I did not have a hostel. I did not have a room. I stayed in the university in a guest house belonging to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences where my cousin was studying. He provided me that room for each time for 15 days. And I would go every day for an hour and 20 minutes walking to my college and an hour and 20 minutes coming back from my college. And eating food at a tent where the construction workers working on the library were cooking meals for themselves. And I loved it. It was hard, but as I look back at that time, it is what did my formation for my later years. So hardships and difficulties and unfamiliarity as you just arrive with culture or food should not drive you away, rather it should attract you and pull you. India is not a melting pot. India is an assimilating pot, a mixing pot. It doesn't melt you. It keeps you as you are. It keeps your character, and yet it inculcates in you a value system that you can call your own and that of the world and take it back home. In this opportunity, dear students, you should take the fullest. At your age, 18, 20, 22, 23, right up to perhaps 30, even perhaps up to 40, time is not so much of relevance to you. But when you're my age or more, then you know that time is of great importance. It's the only thing in life that doesn't come back or that you cannot bring back to you. Once gone is gone. Therefore, use it in the greatest of ways to learn more, to understand better, and to be a better human being. This morning, in the lovely site of the campus of Symbiosis University, away from the city, Professor Majumdar spoke of education and morality together. This combination of education and morality together is what creates the best of human capital, human resources. By morality, we mean values of a nice person, of a good person, of a kind person, of an understanding person, of an unbiased person, of a person without prejudice. Our dear student from Palestine referred to Nelson Mandela, who, struggling to end apartheid in South Africa, and the anger that was built in him over years could have turned him into a person very angry inside and outward. But then he saw the inner humility of humanity in him. And having been freed from prison, he invited those who had tortured him, those who had imprisoned him, those who had insulted him to his home and received them as another friend. That makes a human being, and I was glad our fellow student referred to Mandela. It reminds us all of what a good human being should be. India has produced some of the greatest, from Gandhi to Mother Teresa to Pacha Khan, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, and to many more that were raised in here and provided so much for us to learn from and to think and to try to refine ourselves on. Now, you don't notice it today. As a young man, during the years of our resistance against the former Soviet Union, we were about 7 organizations struggling against the Soviet Union. We were invited to France. I was one of them. We went to study photojournalism there in one of the best schools in France, in Lille. We took a month of French studies, and the dean of the faculty, Professor Majumdar, we were about 12 of us, told us there, and I remember it very vividly, said, some of you, we were young, 25, 23, 24, 26. He says, some of you will, in the future of Afghanistan, be ministers. Some of you may become a president. And then, because our country was occupied, we did not see any such possibility as Afghans. We said, well, the country is occupied. Will ever a time come that we go back to Afghanistan, have our own country, and then in that country of ours, be someone of relevance to politics and society? Our principle then proved right. Some of us truly became ministers, and one was unlucky enough to become president. Now, as you move forward, and as you learn, as you educate yourself, inevitably God has created a world like that. We are on the way out, you are on the way in. This is how nature works. This is how God has created this world. We are on the way out, you are on the way in. Even if we cling to this, what do you call this, platform, this table, I don't know what the name of this microphone holding table is. But even if we cling to this and not let it go, the wind of time will take us away and will bring you in over here. So prepare for this day. This day is awaiting you, those of you who want to be in politics, those of you who want to be engineers, those of you who want to be doctors, managers, businessmen, social workers, teachers, professors, creators of magnificent universities like Professor Majumdar. That day is awaiting you, and you will be taken there whether you like it or not. It is the force of nature. So be prepared for that day. How can you be best prepared for that day? By not wasting a second of your time and by working hard. Of course, by doing sports and by playing around too. But by working hard and learning and by making sure that when you're back home in your countries, that you always remember that there is a world in which people like you live in your countries, live in other countries too. Because, and I say this with particular emphasis, remember that there are people too in the rest of the world. As the world is going towards more and more of what is called the national interest, and the pursuit of that interest by any means, unfortunately. When you're back in your countries and in positions of power in society, in all walks of life, remember that nothing stands above a fellow human being. And nothing stands above the interest of the fellow human being. So while you pursue your careers and the interest of individuals, us individuals, or when you try to represent the interests of nations, remember that others have interests too, and that you find your interest in harmony with the interest of the rest of us in the world. And with that, I will end my remarks, and I'm so happy to be with you. It's a great moment, and I will never forget it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm ready, Professor Majumdar, to take some questions. Yes.
I won't even attempt to put into words what your address has meant to all of us. I'll go just with thank you so much. A number of you have sent questions, and because of a paucity of time, I'm going to read the questions out. I will read it with your names. When your name is read out, please do stand up. Simon from Kenya asks, with the foreign forces exiting Afghanistan in 2014, what is your ideas or thoughts towards security stability? With your country flooding with natural resources and the two Asian giants, India and China, through diplomacy wanting to explore and tap into those resources to fuel their own thirsty economies, are you slightly paranoid?
Well, sir, please take a seat, sir. What are you studying, my friend? What are you studying? Commerce, banking, and finance. Good, good, good. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you know the circumstances under which the international forces came to Afghanistan. And now we are ready to send them home with gratitude and thanks. And for us to begin to provide protection to our country and service to our country. Yes, Afghanistan is very rich in natural resources. We want to give it to the best use possible. We are aware of the dangers as well, that uncontrolled, unprincipled extraction and use of natural resources can bring much misery to our economy as well, like we see examples in your part of the world as well, in Africa. Keeping that in mind, Afghanistan is stepping forward very carefully. We worked for almost 3 years on the law that will allow such investment. Once the law is out, yes, India and China are the two very close countries to Afghanistan. Both are neighbors, and both are expanding economies. And Afghanistan also needs to add to its own revenue and to its own GDP. Therefore, Afghanistan will rely on such investment and make sure that the investment in our natural resources brings welfare to the society and strengthens the foundations of the Afghan economy. Thank you, sir.
Ghulam Habib Vardak. He's written a question plus some comments, so I will read out his entire page.
Please.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, I'm going to touch upon the most sensitive issue of contemporary Afghanistan, the bilateral security agreement with the US of A. Your Excellency, let me assure you that we, the Afghan youth, stand firm beside you, as we salute your dedication and determination as far as safeguarding Afghan national interests and preserving Afghan dignity is concerned. Exactly. You have won our hearts. May God bless you. The question. Your Excellency, as you know, India has been leading from the front in terms of the reconstruction since 2002 in areas of building infrastructure, capacity building, education, and enhancing the capabilities of the Afghan military establishment. What, according to you, would be India's role in post-2014 Afghanistan?
Well, India is, India is an age-old friend of Afghanistan. It has proven itself to be a true friend. In the past 10 years, it has been in the forefront of assistance to Afghanistan, including students, many of whom I see here today in this hall. India will continue to play a role in Afghanistan for strengthening the institutional foundations of Afghanistan, for bringing better training to the Afghan army and police, and for bringing to us the stronger, deeper rooting of our democracy and its institutions, and by engaging with us in commerce and trade. India and Afghanistan have a shared interest in connecting to the Central Asian region and the West Asian region. Both of us are trying to work hard with our neighbor Pakistan, so transit and trade can be allowed, so the region can prosper. There's so much talent in this region, so much energy of the youth, and if these barriers are removed, we will be unleashing that power in the most significant way. Thank you.
Nasir Ahmed Karzai. Your Excellency, we are living in the 21st century, a post-industrialist era. On one hand, we hear of concepts such as the global village, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. But on the other side, communal violence based on language, ethnicity, and religion is gaining momentum, thus making the concept of a global village a utopia and maybe inapplicable. Mr. President, do you really believe that education can enhance the level of tolerance, helping us to live in a secure, prosperous, and tolerant one world?
That's a very significant question. Please take a seat, please. It's a very, very significant question. Now, also something that has a great deal of my attention and worry. The world is indeed a global village. The world is one family. It is not the people of the world who have made it difficult. It's the politics of the world that has made it difficult. It's the leaders pursuing politics that make it difficult. Well, if I now go to pour out my heart to you on this, it will take time and I will make a lot of enemies. But still, I believe that what I referred to in my remarks when I said the pursuit of national interest should not be at the cost of values or morality. Meaning, to put it in more explicit words, that say Afghanistan has an interest abroad, and Afghanistan has grown strong enough to portray that interest and to pursue that interest. That Afghanistan has planes, has money, has resources, has intelligence, has bugging devices listening to the leaders around the world and to their population. That it can reach out and achieve its interest. Will Afghanistan do that at the cost of the poor families and children of that other country or parts of the world? Should Afghanistan do that? No, never. Never. Therefore, if we can stick to this principle of interest, yes, but at the cost of others, no, the world will neither be ethnically divided, nor socially divisive, nor culturally at odds. Therefore, symbiosis, which is a botanical term, brings us to the crux of the matter. Two together for a common purpose. Am I right? Is that a good definition? Two together for a common purpose, or perhaps more together for a common purpose. There we will do better. Thank you, sir. Great question.
Kritika Balaji, is she here? She asks, we know that Afghanistan is going for elections in 2014. NATO troops will also withdraw. What challenges do you think you will face with these two big events looming?
Elections will be there in about 4 months' time on the 5th of April, and within that election or the subsequent second round election, Afghanistan will have a new president. And I'm sure that new president will come here to Symbiosis University to address students here and enjoy his time. So elections will definitely be there. The success of India, students, the success of Indian democracy is there because of the adherence of Indian leaders then, 65 years ago, to the Constitution of India. And the participation of Indian masses in deciding the fate of governments. Afghanistan will follow the same course. Afghanistan will go to elections, elect a new president, elect new provincial councils, and a year from now, Afghanistan will elect a new parliament. The foreign forces, the NATO forces, will leave Afghanistan in huge numbers. Some of them will stay from 10 to 15,000 in small numbers, under our laws, under our principles, and in respect of Afghan homes and Afghan lives and security and peace. That's what we want.
Thank you, sir.
That's all?
The last question is for the Minister of Bhutan. Oh, okay. Maybe you could try that.
I can answer for him?
Yes. Bhutan is known to be the happiest nation. What is the secret?
Well, those of you who are studying politics must study a principle in Bhutan that's called gross national happiness. We are known to have studied generally gross national product or gross national income or income per capita. The Bhutanese have adopted a different philosophy, the philosophy of gross national happiness. Now, some countries are very rich. I don't want to name them. But are they happy? No. And some countries are not that rich. But are they happy? Yes. That is a great example. So the Bhutanese are telling us that it's not only the riches that you create makes you happy, it's the social, economic, environment of existence and the proper use of the resources that Mother Earth provides that makes you happy. And they are right. Thank you. Thank you.
I said in the morning and I repeat it again, for me and for all of us at Symbiosis, it's like a dream come true. And I think it is the same for all these international brothers and sisters of mine coming from almost 85 different countries, that this is an event that I think they will cherish for the whole of their lives. And they will thank India and they will thank Symbiosis in particular to have invited you and have interacted with you, because I too believe that as a student, I'm sure, I don't think you have also had an opportunity to interact with the head of the state while you were in India. So they are really lucky that Symbiosis could invite you, and I'm sure these memories will be cherished by each one of them, as we will cherish too. I must put on record my deep appreciation and thanks to Dr. Abdali, and I visited him several times and I have persuaded him that please tell the story of Symbiosis to your president, and I'm sure that will draw him here. And Dr. Abdali, I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. As this function comes to the end, you have promised that you will come again in 2014. Sir, I've said this to many, but I think this holds true for you, that the soil of Symbiosis is like the sands of Hawaii. Once it gets into your shoes, it will get you again and again. Thank you. Thank
session now comes to a close. I request the audience to remain seated while the dignitaries leave.